welcome back to the RC barn. Today we're going to be working on the Flyin King. I know you guys are we're kind of getting tired of this, but I have flown this quite a few times, and one of my major complaints has been the landing gear on this plane has been a pain in the butt. So I have looked around and found a couple of sets of landing gear that could replace the old tired 40 size landing gear that flexes way too much. Is already ripped out once. And so anyways, I'll shoot you down here. Now I've already went ahead and disassembled the motor plate because I do have a landing gear that I think we can use. So let's get on this and see if we can make some improvements to this plane, make it a little better. So if you remember right, I went ahead and I didn't have a landing gear block when I was building this thing, and I did try to use wire landing gear, but that quickly failed. So I got two options. First option was this that I picked up for nothing. I think this is like 4-star 60 gear. So it's a little thicker, but it's still kind of weak, and it's still, on the narrow side for the width of the fuselage. I could make my own. I did that on something. I don't remember what it was, but we bent landing gear up for. But I do try to make and repurpose stuff. So I did get this, which is I'm pretty sure is a Dubro gear. It says LG20 on it, made in Texas. So I'm not exactly sure it's fiberglass. It's a little stronger than the aluminum, so it should handle the weight. It's nice and thick. Made for a wider plane. It does hang over the side a little bit. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm talking maybe a 1/4 inch on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut an 1/4 inch plate out here, and then I'm going to, or whatever thickness this is, I don't remember anymore, and go ahead and epoxy a new plate onto this existing plate, which is, as you can tell, the landing gear really did a number on it. And for not flying that much, it was just me trying to make things work, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. This is one of them instances where they don't. So I'll get a plate cut out here real quick, and I will I'm gonna go against my better judgment because this is plastic fiberglass stuff. I'm gonna use the existing holes. Well, those aren't for 1/4 that I like to put into landing gear plates. Obviously won't fit. I could drill them out, but it doesn't leave a lot of meat. I'd have to move them in somewhere around here. I think they might already have holes there or impressions, but anyways, these are already drilled, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. They're plenty far enough in, and I will find some bolts to put in here with blind nuts. Fairly certain I'm a good enough flyer that I won't have too many problems with this thing ripping out. So especially now that I've learned how to fly it a little better. So let me get that plate cut out, and we'll go from there. I'll show you what I got going on after I get the plate cut out. Alright, so I got the plate kind of feathered in here, and it is a little thicker. I don't have any 3/8 plywood, and that's what this was made with. So I went with 1/4 inch because thicker is always better. And then backwards. So something like that. So let's just make sure that we're putting this in straight. That was another problem. Now this gear does, I don't know if you can kind of tell, it kind of arcs forward, or that way. Yeah, see what I mean? This part's forward. It's more in line with the front of those gears, so we don't want to put this on backwards. That would be backwards on a tail dragger. Even on the main, if this was a trike gear, it would be right there. So anyways, we know this is straight here, and then haven't really thought this through a whole lot. I usually just eyeball them, but that looks pretty good right there. Something like that. Yeah, it looks pretty straight. I'll just mark them out, and then so now I just got to find the size hardware I want to use to screw that down. We got to do this before we plant this down here because otherwise I'm going to have a heck of a time getting, there's so much wood up in here. I got so much tri-stock holding this plate in and stuff that I don't want to mess with that too much. So I'm going to have to bury them in here. And I might even, once I pick the hardware out, I might even drill this out a little bit so that way the wine nut's not so captured in there. I mean, if this thing ever has a bad landing, this is a recipe for disaster. That's, yeah. So, because it won't, the bolts won't fail. It'll just rip the whole gear off from probably most of the fuselage with it. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah, and I know my receiver's broken. I gotta, there's a couple of prongs that hold the receiver in, and they hold on one side, and you can hear them snapping in, but it doesn't have anything on the other side. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I'm just gonna probably loosen that bottom plate and stick a piece of tape on it and re-adhere it down to the thing. So that's a quick fix. So anyways, I'll get that done and we'll bring it back. Most of you are probably curious what I'm gonna do for the covering, and like I said in the coverall thing, because this is the coverall plant, the plant was covering coverall. You can't put nitrate dope over top of butyrate, and this has got butyrate on it on top of everything else, and you need to re-adhere it to this. So we'll do the wet dope method. I might put a little bit of Stixit on here just to have something to dry it to, and then we'll just roll it over and we'll overlap everything and we'll dope it down with butyrate, and then we can, after that dries, I can repaint this section here. I'll mask it off. Looks like I gotta get some more white on it anyway, so not sure what's going on there, but you can start to see the wood poking through. So yeah, who knows, I don't. So anyways, I'll bring it back when I get that done. Alright, I changed my mind. It actually ain't that hard to drill out. Sitting here talking about it, and you know, that's the honest to God's truth. If you hard mount, I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going from behind. It is kind of hard to drill out because it just kind of grabs. It is fiberglass. But I thought that wouldn't leave me a whole lot of meat, and it actually does. See what I mean? Because if this landing gear rips out, I mean, it's gonna just absolutely destroy this thing. So what we'll do now, and that's gonna make it for a little bit of a longer repair here. I was hoping to get this video out tonight, but that probably ain't gonna happen. Probably be tomorrow's video. I got all these projects floating around here. Some you've seen, some you haven't. And it's like everything's in my way to not finish stuff. I guess that's the way my week's gonna go. I've got to get over to the shop, and I got a car over there I got to get working on. So I'm just gonna sand this a little smoother. The fit up ain't great on it. Because of the glue. There we go. I like that. Let's get some epoxy. Gonna go with 30 minutes on this. I'm not in a hurry. It's supposed to be raining again tomorrow. I haven't had a transmitter in my hands in at least 2 weeks. That's kind of sucked. But, you know, that's what it is. I'm waiting for this stuff to fall down. I'm running out of glue too. Dripping out. enough. You guys ready for winter build season? I've been cleaning the shop most are in today, trying to get ready for the winter. Be here before we know it. In fact, I think it already is. There we go. Might as well use the rest of it on the bottom here. Okay. Okay. And then I think we'll put some weight on it. How about some water? Nice pink bowl. There we go. That'll help. So, anyways, I'll bring you back tomorrow when this dries and we get the rest of it done. Alright, good morning. It's the next day. This has been sitting here overnight. Let's see what we ended up with here. Okay. Seems pretty good. So next step is we need to drill for the 1/4 20 blunt or 1/4 20 threads. And just like before on my other tapping videos, we don't chuck up to here on the drill. We chuck up on the shaft. And since this is just wood, we can just run it in and out. Since I'm possibly going through a 1/2 inch material, I'm going to run it down as much as I can. We'll do a little test fitting here. I ain't going to put all 4 screws in it, but I'd probably cut these down a little bit. Let's do that. Well, I'm cutting down my threads now. This isn't super important, but you want to make sure you got plenty of material to go in there. And then I try to go between the threads here, so as they're only nylon. Maybe I can get it started. There we go. That end was a little off. I don't know. Then obviously we'll put the other 4 in when we go to do final assembly, but let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good once we get tire axles and tires on it and stuff. I'll just swap the tires over from the old landing gear over there that we had on it. But that looks really nice. I'm not mad at that at all. I mean, that's what I was talking about. Like, it's just a little wider than, but it's hardly noticeable. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll flip her back over. And then I'm going to get set up for getting this recovered. We don't want to just let it go. Now you could, if you didn't want to, or if you ran out of materials or whatnot, you could stain this and epoxy it. You wouldn't hardly notice it. So, you know, you could do that. If you had a scrap piece of white covering, you could do that. That'd be a little more noticeable, I would think. But we're just going to go ahead, and since I got the time, we'll get this all painted and everything. And we can brush this on, because there again, you're not going to see a lot of it. It's on the bottom. But anyhow, I'll get set up to do that, and we'll show you that next. Alright, so I got my piece of coverall out, cut out. Isn't going to take a lot. And I went ahead and put some sticks it down. Feels like it's been about 10-15 minutes or something like that. Feels like it's pretty well dried up. We want to kind of center this over here so we're getting good coverage on the front. And I got my iron heated up here. I did not put it on the sides or where I already got covering at because I'm not sure what the sticks it would do to adhere down, but I did go across the back so that way I could tie it down nice and flat back here. And I will brush some dope on the back side. Now you can see that's already stuck down real nice. And all we got left to do is the front edge. I'm sure sticks it would be fine on the other stuff, but I didn't feel like taking the chance to find out the hard way. Maybe somebody on here knows more. But we'll cut our corners here. And hopefully this will lay down nice. Go over nice. So I got my clear butyrate here. This is the same stuff we use. It's just leftover equipment. That's why you want to make sure you got a little bit left over. And I got some brushes here that have been sitting in the acetone since we've pretty much finished this project. So let me get, where's my towel at? Right there. Try to find one that ain't so curved up. Yeah. I think they're all gonna be curved. The other thing I noticed is when I was doing some work on this before, that I wasn't getting all the lacquer thinner out of the brush, and it was messing with my paint job here. We'll try to get as much out as we possibly can. I'm just squeezing it in a paper towel, and I'm also trying to straighten out the curve that this thing's got going on. It'll be alright. It's just a little piece. It's not like it's... Okay. So... You can't really see what I'm doing here, but I just folded that piece up. And then... And if you're not familiar with this technique, go back and watch the video on doing this and that, and where we cover the Flyin King. And that is adhering down super nice right there. And because we're brushing it, I don't think we're going to have to do more than maybe 2 coats of clear, or this on there, and then we can go to our paint, which I do have a little bit left. I'll go ahead and fill this weave in while we're at it. This stuff is really, really thick for some reason. I don't remember it being this thick. So all we're doing here is we're getting it adhered down. And this is like the patch video too, where I showed if you had to make a patch. And then here you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing here. So we're going to fold. And I even still got some paint coming up. That's weird. We're going to fold this forward. And then we'll fold this down. And there we go. I may touch this up this winter. I don't know. As you can see where like some of the paint's coming up, and I don't know why that's happening. Almost as if I'm having a reaction or something, a paint reaction. Look at that, I just peeled it right up. See it right there on the brush. It's weird. So, anyways, there's the patch done. I'll probably just go ahead and do the painting off camera. No reason to do all this. So, make sure everything's nice and sealed down here. Brush it back in the acetone. That does work quite nicely to get the paint and stuff off of it. Just using a canning drawer. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. It's just a lot more of assembly. I'm going to fix this receiver too. Like I said, I'll probably just throw ahead and throw a piece of tape around there to keep it held down, and then re-put it into the where it's at here. So anyways, I want to thank y'all for watching, and please like, comment, subscribe. I did notice this morning we finally broke the 300 membership or subscription mark. So I think we were at 302 or something like that this morning. So anyways, I want to thank you all for that. And so I'll catch you on the next one.